Okay, what's up folks? So today is day 2 of 3 on covering what are going to be the basics of the Bodyweight Basics course starting November 1st. So if you saw last week's video, Susie demoed all the standing, down and back movements and then all of our PVC movements. Now we've got 3 more categories. We've got supine, prone, and then standing. Okay, so it's roughly like 12 movements, so we're going to get through them and she's going to demo them, and then next week we'll demo how we're going to do the mobility work and then maybe talk a little bit about how the workouts will look. Okay, so the first thing we start with on the prone is actually a kneeling position. So she's going to show us what we do for thoracic extensions. So here's why this is so important. She's just going to put her hand behind the head, she's going to bring her elbow underneath, pointing underneath her body, and then she's going to, good, and then she's going to curl all the way up, trying to point her elbow to the ceiling. All right, so lack of thoracic extension is a huge culprit in limiting shoulder mobility and then transferring a lot of movement into the low back. So this is something that we work on with a lot of our athletes. We work on extension a ton with like foam rolling and lacrosse balls, but we don't often always get that rotation. So rotation is going to be a big deal. We'll focus on that. And each one of these stations will be 60 seconds. So it's important to understand that. I'm not saying, hey, do 50, because some people may be able to do 50, some may be able to do 3. It doesn't really matter. What I want you doing is working for that whole 60 seconds. That's going to be the goal, okay? Second one is the yoga push-up. So she's going to start in the top of this push-up position. She'll slowly lower herself all the way to the ground, and she's pushing up and back. Perfect, right there. So a way to scale that, because that can be a little challenging for brand new people. She goes completely to the ground, pushes up off the knees, and then comes up on the toes if we still can manage that. Perfect, right? So again, we'll be 60 seconds of those, knocking out as many as we can. She's then going to go straight into shoulder taps. So we're going to work the shoulders quite a bit in these next couple movements. So she's just in the top of a push-up position, opposite hand to the opposite shoulder, right? And then if we really need to scale that, we'll drop to the knees. We'll take a lot of load off of those shoulders and we'll work that stability from there, okay? Perfect. Then we're just going to go regular planks. We're going to go on the elbows on this one since we were just on the hands for the last 2. Okay, so we're just holding that for 60 seconds or as long as you can comfortably do it for. All right, glute bridges. So now we go into our supine stuff. She'll be on her back, feet flat. Quite simply, we're just driving our hips to the ceiling. Okay, so we'll do a 60 seconds of those. For those of you that are kind of next level or might be ready to go to the next step, you're going to kick out one leg, drive up to the opposite. Good. At the very top of that, you're squeezing your butt cheeks till your hips are fully extended and basically neutral. Right there. Perfect. Next, we're going to go into our hollow holds and dead bugs. So if you've got the hollow hold, that's what you'll do. We scale that to a dead bug if we need to. So perfect hollow hold, think belly button to the floor. Best cue we have for that. Shoulders up off the ground, feet up off the ground. We scale that to a dead bug. Bending the knees, hands up now. But the same mechanism is happening. The back is flat to the ground completely. All right. Last thing is the crossovers. So she'll be flat on her back in a T position. She'll take opposite hand to opposite foot, just like that. And we're going to get as much range of motion as we possibly can, really throwing those hips over to get some rotation. Perfect. Then we'll roll onto our bellies. This is a little more challenging, but she'll reach up and over. Good. Now, most of us, including myself, can't get anywhere near that range of motion. It's going to be okay. You're just going to go as far as you can. The point is to get the same hip rotation going on. Perfect. All right, then the last 3 will be a hip hinge. So the hip hinge is subtle and it's nuanced, but it's absolutely vital to get this basic understanding before we really even get into the squat. So all we're basically doing is learning how to do the top portion of a deadlift, or call it the top portion of a squat. Just a few inches she's going to get into here. She'll drive her knees out a little bit. She'll push her hips back, weight stays on the heels, and we're just loading that posterior chain. All right, some of you will come down that far. Some of you will just be working that initial movement of loading the hips first. Hips back first, knees out, weight on the heels, keeping that back nice and straight. It's very subtle, but if we get that developed, then the next step becomes very easy, because then the next minute will be air squats. So she'll go right into this good squat position and then come up. So it'll be basically a full minute of doing the air squat. All right, and we're going to be always focusing on quality of movement over reps. I don't care if you get 300 reps, I don't care if you get 5 reps. I just want them to be done very, very well. All right. So then the last one is the Haydn's. Okay. This is a lateral movement that we don't oftentimes get to work in this plane. So we're going to play with this. So we're just hopping back and forth, letting the leg come behind you. Think like speed skating, if you will. So the better we get at this, the longer we can go. We're just starting, we'll just be working a short little hop. Cool? So that is walk us through the first portion of our warm-up. The stuff we showed you early on will be with using distance, meaning down and back in the gym. The rest of it will be done on time, so 60 seconds per station. And I didn't ask her to do it, but we'll be shoeless, okay? For all those warm-ups, will be inner socks, working, letting that foot get involved as well. So we've got about 9 spots left. Bodyweight Basics starts November 1st. And
only a few spots left. Hurry up.
All right, thanks.